Well, happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to Carmen Edwards' podcast. The title is always about transparency with different titles attached to it. And so today I've been led to share how storms happen in our life and how um, through storms we can find our purpose. Um, this is a very, very sensitive topic for me. And it's not only sensitive just for me, but sensitive to people that I know and that I love that are not aware of this particular journey here that I've been on. And this journey has led me to find out a whole lot of things about myself that I possessed a lot of emptiness within myself from a child until now. And when I say now, I'm just talking about as early as last year. Um, I have talked about some of the feelings I had as a child. And one of the things that, I think we as children, and this is not relevant to everyone because I truly realize that everybody don't look like their mother, everybody don't look like their father. And so that is not an indication that they are not your parents. I really feel that it's something within ourselves, and it's the feelings that we get from the people that we interact with on a regular basis. And so when I was growing up as a child, there was a lot of emptiness inside of me, and I've talked about that over the years. And um, my mom, who was brought to Dayton when she was 9 and raised by her oldest sister and her husband, my aunt and uncle, and we lived with them. I actually lived with them throughout my entire life until I became a responsible person and was able to take care of myself. That's another story in itself. But over the years, just within me, myself, I have felt like I felt a lot of abandonment. I felt a lot of rejection, uh, a lot of worthlessness where I didn't feel like I was worthy. I often compared myself with others, as you all know, concerning me, that's been part of what I have been used to doing throughout my life. I don't do it anymore. But so fast forward, because I don't want to take up a lot of time in these podcasts, but want to be I want to be as transparent as possible. And I want to be able to deliver this transparency by being honest, by being open minded, by clarifying and making it clear what I'm talking about, and understanding of just other people as well as myself, but more understanding that I want to take others into consideration. And yet I've learned that my story is my story. And so this is not to offend anybody or harm anybody. It's just my story. And so uh, in 2017, my dad got sick and he had cancer. Now, I need to share that I had another dad, and both of these men now, I knew that one of them knew that I wasn't his child. But my dad, who I really thought for 50, I think it was 58 or 59 years that he was my dad, he got sick with cancer. And so I moved him in the home with uh, my then ex, my then husband, and I became his caretaker. One of the things I'm gonna back up just a little bit because in my lifetime, when I was younger, during my younger years, I really felt like my uncle was my rock. Like I really, really loved him because he was the one person who I really felt loved me. I mean, I believe my mom loved me, my aunt, but he was the one person who I could kind of maneuver and have my way that kind of made me feel special, um, in ways that I wasn't getting that from anyone else. And so I always saw him as being the greatest man ever besides Jesus. And but when my dad got sick and he was living with us, um, 6 months before he passed in 2018, he revealed to me that I was not his child. And I'm just going to share a little bit of this with you concerning me personally and within myself, how I was feeling leading up to all of this. Leading up to all of this, I was having these empty voids within myself with my dad, who was with me at the time, and just wondering, looking at pictures, because I was more exposed to his environment, his home, and pictures and stuff he had, and just looking around at people trying to figure out where I fit in at, and looking at his children and seeing how much they look like him. And as people, we do that. We kind of start to try to dissect some stuff. But nevertheless, when he shared that he was not my dad with me, I I said to him, "So what are you about to tell me that Uncle's my dad?" And he said yes. So and I inquired to him. I asked him, like, why did you wait till everybody died to share this with me? Basically, because his actions really towards me was that of somebody that he wasn't comfortable with nurturing. Uh, I mean, I believe that God gives all us assignments, and I believe that my assignment turned out to really take care of him, and he took on that name as my dad for 58 years, and so, or 59, but nevertheless, um, so it's hard to question why things happen. It's very hard to question why things happen, but nevertheless, he shared that with me, and I inquired, well, why did you wait till everybody was gone to tell me this? And he shared with me that there were two people that knew, and so one of them I really didn't have access to talk to her. And the one I was, and the other one I was, and so I contacted her, and she verified uh, that it was Uncle. And she shared a few stories with me. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how everybody was still holding down this secret all these years. Like, how did this happen? And it was really concerning to me because I started to feel some kind of way about my mom being 9 when she was brought here with her sister and her brother-in-law, and how he ended up being my dad. So I started feeling some kind of way, like, was she being taken advantage of or what? Because we know a lot of things happened back then. A lot of things happened to people back then, and for some reason or another, people was able to kind of sweep stuff up under the rug. But anyway, so a few days after that, my dad called me into his room, and he, I guess maybe he was feeling some kind of way about revealing this to me. And he shared with me that when he was a little boy in Mississippi running around in the church, he heard some ladies talking about his dad not being his father. And I believe he was sharing this with me basically because he wanted me to know that it was in his good heart to tell me this before he passed, because I mean, we knew he had terminal cancer, and he just didn't want to take it to his grave. And so I started searching within myself, looking at pictures and making collages of me and my uncle. And even though I know I look like my mom too, I mean, I really know that. But it's a lot of things that about me that, had me looking at myself and wondering some things, just not quite feeling like I don't look nothing like them. And even the part where, honestly, it was a lot of uneducated people involved in this. And, I had even started looking at my children and my grandchildren and seeing, how smart they are, and just wondering, where all this came from, because I ended up quitting school. So that was kind of validating that, not validating, but, uh, the negative feeling of not feeling educated enough and good enough. And so, uh, for from then until from 2018 to 2024, I really started questioning this thing. I started feeling some kind of way in the beginning, and probably, 2021 or 2022, I really just started feeling some kind of way and just feeling like, I want to know. And fortunately for me, I have a cousin, a second cousin, that was really into ancestry. And, um, she had let me know probably around 2020 or 2021 that, she was in, and she was discovering things, and she was, giving me a little bit of information. So I believe that that planted the seed in me. That planted the seed in me when the time came up for me to want to really find out the truth. So, nevertheless, I contacted her in March of 24, and I had her to help me to take the ancestry test, and she did. And so it came back in about 4 or 5 weeks, and it came back that I was very close family with people that I never even heard of. And I had quite a few first cousins. That was my first cousins that I never knew, never heard of them. But it was my one cousin on there, and her name, well, she gave me permission because we really have built a great bond together, and I really love her so much. And she's my first cousin. But the contact was made with her through my cousin helping me, and she started sharing wonderful things with me about our family, the family that I knew that I didn't know that I had. And she started sending me pictures, and she just started to fill in those voids that I was having, uh, that I feel like I possessed. Uh, I always felt like my family on my mom's side wasn't close. I still feel like that, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We know each other and we love each other. But I had one cousin, which is the mother of my cousin with the ancestry. She was our matriarch, and she's passed on now. But she was just truly somebody who I looked at and I admired, and I wanted, I always told her when I grew up, I want to be like her. So when I made this connection with my cousin Rosie, and the information that she was giving to me and pictures she was sharing with me, it really started to fulfill me with joy. It really started to uh, finally feel like I belonged somewhere. And it was her love just alone that was really, really filling to me. And then she slowly started introducing me to family. At first, we went through trying to figure out how did I fit into this family, and we finally figured it out. She finally did. Well, I'm not going to say she figured it out. I mean, it was revealed to us that all of the other children of my grandparents was not my parent. And so uh, my biological father had one son that was left, and they hadn't talked to him. And so a lot of research was done through another first cousin. I spoke to my aunt, and let me tell you the story about my aunt. My aunt, who is 91 years old now, at least she will be on her birthday, and I don't quite remember when that is, but I've talked to her a lot. She had a son and a daughter in law that lived right here in Dayton. We belong to the same church. He's an elder at the church, was an elder at the church. And his wife and I actually bonded after he passed away. And I think it just had something to do with the fact that I lost a son, she lost her husband, and just that grief. But she was just an awesome woman. He was really an awesome man. I mean, he really was. And it really kind of hurt a little bit because I didn't know that we were blood relatives, first cousins. And what I admired in them, I seen in myself. It's just so many things that I've seen around me, even today, concerning my family, my second parent family. And I'm going to uh, come I'm going to just kind of put that out there the way Ancestry put it out there, first parent, second parent, without mentioning, any names. But nevertheless, they really worked hard for us to wind this down. And finally, we were just like, how did my mom meet him? And it was revealed to us that my biological dad actually had lived here in Dayton for a little while. I don't know why anybody didn't know about him, or I don't know what their relationship consists of, but nevertheless, he is my biological father. And um, they have long jeopardy of living, and he passed away in 2021. And so, and then I had a brother, he had another son, besides the one that's living, who had passed away the year before that. And my family hadn't really, they didn't know how to get in touch with my biological brother for him to take the test with me. But I came from good people, people that are, and my Edwards family is good people too. Let me please, I no disregard or no disrespect to anyone, but I have possessed this characteristic as a person who love family, who desire to be close to my family. I spent about 25 years cooking Thanksgiving dinner once I got sober, just to have my family with me, and unfortunately we grew up with the distance there. The love has always been there, but the distance, and that's not what my heart desire. Our desire to know and love the people that you know we're connected to, like that, especially like that. And that's where my void came in all my life, is that I never had that feeling of belonging like that. So, but nevertheless, they found uh, my brother. He was more than willing to take the test. I sent the test to him, and we waited patiently for the results to come back. And it came back that he's my brother. So his dad is my father. Um, and it's really a beautiful thing. Uh, Unfortunately, my dad, I said it earlier, he passed away. Um, I haven't met my brother yet, but I'm looking forward to it. We text each other. I talk to my cousin Rosie all the time. My son and I went to another state to meet five of my first cousins and my uncle, who is my dad's brother, who is 102 years old, almost 103 years old. Um, and, now when I see pictures and stuff, I can put things together like this big forehead of mine. I don't mean to bring it to your attention because I'm beautifully and wonderfully made because God made me, but it's things that I remember talking to one of my first cousins, and I remember she said, they got big foreheads too, but she also, they also shared with me about the smartness, the love in the family, the fact that my grandparents, my grandma, because I don't think my grandfather, I think he passed away before this home, was actually my grandmother's, but it's still standing. So I have a lot to look forward to. But the thing that I want to say is, and I know I look to see how many minutes this is going because I really don't want to overly do it. It'll be a part two to it. But I want to really thank my cousin Rosie and my cousin that helped me to you know, discover the truth about me through ancestry and the fact that I was, um, I'm connected to people that are full of love and that are good people. And that's the one thing that my brother was able to tell me. He didn't spend a lot of time around all of the aunts and uncles because they moved far out, far away, and so he was born in another whole state. But our dad was always with him. He was married. They were married. He was married to his mom, and but my brother told me, he said, that our family is really good people, and that's where I feel like that's something that I have that I never understood where I got it from, to be honest, because and that's not to say nobody is bad people, but when I say this, I'm talking about the love and the desire for family, for not just our children and grandchildren, but just for family. I never knew the history of my life when it came to my parents. I never even laid eyes on my mother's mother. I have no idea what she looks like. Now, I have pictures of my dad's mom, my grandfather, all my aunts, and it was 12 of them. And what's so ironic about that is my mom had, it was 12 of them too. And so on both sides, it's a big family, and but the family that I grew up with, my family, my immediate family, which is with my mom. I mean, the only time we really saw each other is during a funeral. And finally, I had mentioned years ago when my cousin that I was telling you, that's our matriarch, I went to her mom's funeral, my aunt, and I was like, everybody, we should start having family reunions. So we did. As a result of me and her talking, she got with her children. We started family reunions. So we did have about 4 or 5 family reunions, which was really nice. Um, but I don't think I knew like half of the people that was there. I knew the immediate people. And so when I look at some of the programmings and things that my cousins and them gave me when I went to meet them in another state, I could see where all of it was family oriented and everybody came together to make things happen. And I found out that my cousin that actually lived here, his wife was at the last family reunion that they had, and she passed not long after that. Um, and how much my aunt just loved her. And so I'm gonna kind of, not kind of, but I feel like there's gonna be a part two to this. And um, I'm hoping and praying that, because what I learned about life is that a lot of times, because of shame and guilt, and because we don't want to hurt other people, we we don't pursue the things that's going to lead us into our purpose. But we had to walk through those feelings and the fear of hurting someone. Everybody that know me know that I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm just trying to learn about me. I'm just trying to make the connection within myself to give me the joy that my heart has always desired when it came to being complete and knowing some things that I always was curious about, because I never met, well, my second dad that, I did meet his mom, and I was a part of their lives, growing up a little bit. They would come and get me, and I would do things, picnics and things with them. So they loved me, and we still love each other to this day. But nevertheless, we don't. get together and bond, and I'm not a part of their immediate circle. And so there's still a void within me. So I had to be true to myself about some things. And I'm not disappointed in anybody. I feel like the blessings of having someone to even say they're my dad for almost 60 years, uh, it's a blessing. I remember my second dad, and of course, I'm not saying names, but I remember talking to him and letting him know that I knew that he wasn't my dad. And he didn't want to talk about it. He said he would always be my dad, he would always be there for me. So I have to be grateful for those things. I wasn't excluded from anything that they had set up after they passed away or anything. So I know that God was covering me in between time, in that gap or in that place of need to be covered. He was covering me. So I love everybody that's involved in this. And I want to thank, Rosie, um, because she really have been very instrumental in me finding myself through my DNA. And it's a beautiful feeling. So I just want to say I'm peace right now. I love you all. And I'm just trying to find joy through this journey. Hopefully this will help somebody. Part two is going to come back. I'm coming back with part two of this. And I don't know in what kind of way I'm going to let my spirit be resonated through God, and I'm going to seek his guidance and direction on this. I don't have no intentions of exposing anybody that that hasn't given me permission, but I do know that it's a joy for me to finally know the truth. And when I found out the truth, I was 66 years old. I'm about to be 67 next month. And so that's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey. But I thank God that He gave me the desire of my heart. So I just want to say, God bless. I love you all and thank you.